Hello, everyone. I welcome you to yet another edition of Places in News. Now, this is our Sunday series where we discuss with you the places that have been in news lately. Let's begin our today's discussion with the very first location as Mongolia. Now, recently, Mongolia was in news as four holy relics of Lord Buddha were taken to Mongolia for an 11-day exposition that was to coincide with the Mongolian Buddha Purnima that falls on 14th of June. So, a 25-member delegation that was led by Law Minister Kiran Rijiju took these relics to Mongolia, and these relics were made available for exposition in the Ganden Monastery of Mongolia. The Ganden Monastery of Mongolia. So, we could see the Mongolians enthusiastically paying obeisance to Lord Buddha's relics upon its arrival after 29 years. Now, 53% of the population in Mongolia is Buddhist. So, this step can be seen as goodwill and a part of Buddhist diplomacy between India and Mongolia. Now, these four relics are a part of 22 Buddhist relics that are conserved in the National Museum, Delhi. So, what exactly are these holy relics? These relics were obtained from the funeral pyre of Lord Buddha and they were collected by the Mallars of Kushinagar. Mallars of Kushinagar cremated the body of Lord Buddha and divided these relics into 8 shares. Now, these are also known as Kapil Vastu relics because they were first discovered from site in Bihar in the year 1898, which was believed to be the ancient city of Kapil Vastu. So, this was a little bit about the context of holy relics. Now, let us look into the map. Where is Mongolia located? Mongolia is a landlocked country in East Asia. To the north, we find Russia, and to the south, we have China. The capital city is Ulaanbaatar. Ulaanbaatar, it is located on river Tool. The Tool River originates from Khenti Mountains, the Khenti mountain ranges, and these mountain ranges are considered to be home of Genghis Khan. We also have another mountain ranges called the Atle mountain ranges over here, and then we have the Khangai mountains. Now, whole of Mongolia is considered to be a part of the Mongolian plateau. We also have a lake known as the Ouvs Lake, which is actually Natural World Heritage Site. Ouvs Lake is highly saline in nature. It is the largest lake in Mongolia by surface area. Now, Mongolia is also famous for the Gobi Desert. To the south, we have Gobi Desert and cold and mountainous regions to the north and northwest. Now, if we talk about the Gobi Desert, it is vast and arid region in the northern China and southern Mongolia. It is also known for its dunes, mountains, and rare animals such as snow leopards and Bactrian camels. Now, if we talk a little bit about the history of Mongolia, it was considered as satellite state of the Soviet Union, which aided its independence from China. Today, it has a multi-party system and new constitution was formed in the year 1992 and it has transitioned into market economy. Also, Mongolia is a semi-presidential representative democratic republic with directly elected president. Mongolia is known as the land of eternal blue sky or country of blue sky because it has over 250 sunny days an year. Now, another important fact about Mongolia is that its capital city, Ulaanbaatar, records the lowest temperature of any capital in the world. So, the temperature goes to as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius in the capital city, Ulaanbaatar. So, this was a little bit about Mongolia. Now, let's move on to our next location, and that is Tajikistan. So, recently, this was in news as a fully fledged 50-bedded hospital, that is the India Tajikistan Friendship Hospital, was recently handed over to the government of Tajikistan by the government of India. So let's look into the map. Where is Tajikistan located? So if we look into the map of Tajikistan, we see it is a landlocked country in Central Asian region. So if we talk about Central Asia, we know that there are 5 countries that are part of Central Asia, and these include Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, we have Tajikistan, and then we have Turkmenistan. Now, all these 5 nations are known to be landlocked. In fact, Uzbekistan is a country that is known to be doubly landlocked. That means it is also surrounded by the countries which itself are landlocked. Therefore, it is known as doubly landlocked. So, with this, I'll leave you with the first question of the day. You have to arrange the capitals of these Central Asian nations from east to west. Now, if we see Tajikistan, it is separated narrowly from Pakistan by Afghanistan's Wakhan corridor, or as we call it, the Wakhan Tract. So this is the Wakhan corridor. This region is known as the Wakhan Tract. It is near to the Pakistan occupied Kashmir and it is bordered by Afghanistan, and Tajikistan. Now, to the north of Tajikistan, you find Kyrgyzstan. To the east, we have China. To the south, it is bordered by Afghanistan. And to the west, we see Uzbekistan. Now, 93% of the landmass of Tajikistan is mountainous. That is, it is considered to be the third most mountainous country in the world after Bhutan and Nepal. So, as you can see in the map, it is covered by mountains of Pamir Range. We have the Pamir Range over here. And Pamir Mountains are the mountain range between Central Asia, South Asia, and East Asia. And it is located at a junction with other notable mountains like the Teen Shan Mountains, the Karakoram mountain ranges, the Kunlun mountain ranges. Another one is the Hindu Kush mountain ranges, Himalayan mountain ranges, etc. And these mountain ranges are the world's highest mountain ranges. The Pamir Knot, that means the convergence of major mountain ranges, as we have discussed, the Teen Shan, Karakoram, Kunlun, Hindu Kush, and Pamir mountain ranges. So we have the Pamir Knot. Now we have Ammu River, the Ammu Darya River, which rises from the Pamir Mountains, and it runs as border between Tajikistan and Afghanistan. So this one is the Ammu Darya River. Now, one more interesting fact about Tajikistan is that also the glaciers in Tajikistan's mountain are the major source of runoff water for the Aral Sea. So we have the Aral Sea that is shared by Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. If you see the mountain ranges in Tajikistan, we have the Pamir range, we have the Trans-Alay range, the Turkestan range, we have the Zera-Vashan range, the Gisar range, and then here we have the Fargana Valley. Now, the Fargana Valley spreads across Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and it is a famous historical site as it is known to be the birthplace of Babur. Now, if you see a little bit about the history of Tajikistan, in 1991, Tajikistan became an independent sovereign nation as the Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991. It is a presidential republic that consists of 4 provinces, and the country has been led by President Emomali Rahman since 1994, and we have an authoritarian regime in Tajikistan. Tajikistan is also very significant for India as we had our first overseas military airbase in Tajikistan itself, that is known as the Gisar Air Base or the Farkhor Air Base. So this was around 130 km away from the capital city Dushanbe of Tajikistan. And the capital city of Tajikistan is Dushanbe. It was known as Stalinabad and it's changed its name back in the year 1961 to Dushanbe. So in Tajik language, Dushanbe means Monday. Also the currency followed in Tajikistan is Somoni. So this was a little bit about Tajikistan. Now let us move on to our next location, and that is Sudan. So recently this was in news as tribal clashes emerged in Sudan's war-ravaged Darfur region. So Darfur is the western region of Sudan, and the fighting was because of a land dispute between Arab and African tribes. So if we look into the map of African continent, we see Sudan, the country called Sudan, which is bordered by Egypt to the north. In the northeast, we have Eritrea. To the southeast, we have Ethiopia. Then southwest, we have the Central African Republic. To the west, we have Chad. And northwest, we have Libya. Now, Sudan is also referred to as the Republic of Sudan. So, Sudan was disintegrated from South Sudan in the year 2011. The north was heavily influenced by Islamism, and the south had Christian majority that led to partition of Sudan between Sudan and South Sudan in the year 2011. Another important thing to notice is the 22nd parallel which divides Egypt and Sudan. That is the 22nd parallel latitude. And similarly, we have 20th parallel that divides Egypt and Libya. So we have the capital of Sudan as Khartoum. Now Khartoum is significant because the Blue Nile that originates from Ethiopian highland and the White Nile that originates from Lake Victoria meet at Khartoum. And from Khartoum, they further flow as Nile River into Egypt that drains into the Mediterranean Sea. Also to the east of River Nile, we have the Nubian Desert in Sudan, the Nubian Desert. And to the west, we have a part of Libyan Desert. Now this Nubian Desert is known to be rocky and rugged, and it is a sandstone plateau. So Sudan is rich in mineral resources that includes asbestos, chromite, cobalt, copper, in fact gold, granite, gypsum, iron, kaolin, and many others. It is also rich in petroleum, silver, uranium, and zinc. So this was a little bit about Sudan. Let's move on to our next location, and that is the Strait of Malacca. So recently this was in news as the Indian and Indonesian navies coordinated patrol exercises that was named as the Indo-Corpet in the Andaman Sea and the Malacca Strait. And in this region, that is the Malacca Strait, piracy has been one of the major problems. So let's look into the map. Where is the Strait of Malacca situated? Now here we are talking about strait. So what exactly is a strait? Well, as we know, a strait is a narrow body of water that connects two larger water bodies. As you can see here, we are talking about the Strait of Malacca. This particular is the Strait of Malacca. It is around 580 meter in length, and that is between the Malay Peninsula and the Indonesian island of Sumatra. So this one is the Malay Peninsula, and this one is the Sumatra island of Indonesia. So the length of this is around 580 meters. Now the Strait of Malacca is of major significance to India as well as to many other countries. First of all, it is one of the most important shipping lanes in the world. And this strait is the main shipping channel between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So we also have the Indian Ocean, and this connects the South China Sea as well. So this is also very important for China. Now it links the major Asian economies such as India and East Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and the countries like Singapore, Vietnam, Japan, Taiwan, etc. Now, it is also part of the Maritime Silk Road, and it carries about 25% of the world's traded goods. And the goods include generally oil, Chinese manufactured goods, coal, palm oil, Indonesian coffee, etc. Important point to consider is that the Strait of Malacca comes under the territorial waters or the exclusive economic zones of Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore as well. Therefore, no single country has complete control over the Strait of Malacca. Having said that, another question arises that we also may have different straits, like we have the Sunda Strait. Another strait over here between the islands of Bali and the Lombok Island is the Lombok Strait. We have the Lombok Strait. So specifically, the Sunda Strait is generally not used as an alternative because it is narrow and shallow as compared to the Malacca Strait. So there is a difficulty in navigation of the modern ships. In addition, the Sunda Strait and the Lombok Strait comes under the complete control of Indonesia. Therefore, the Strait of Malacca becomes a natural and the most preferable route by many countries, and strategically it is actually very important for India. Coastal swamps are commonly found on both sides of strait, and a huge low-lying swamp forest lies along the eastern coast of the Sumatra island. We also have numerous isles, and some of these islands have reefs and sand ridges that are present at the southern entrance to the strait. So this was a little bit about Strait of Malacca. And with this, I call it a wrap of today's edition of Places in News. I hope you liked the video. This is Kritika signing off. We'll see you with more such videos. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.